Hello, everyone, and welcome to MoveCo Live. My name is Samantha Moonsamy Gordon, the host in MoveCo Live. We will be airing once a week, and we wanted to create this show to help you support your health, wellness, and vitality. Right now, we're still working from home in these unique times here in Ottawa, Canada. We're still stores and businesses are still slowly opening and are still trying to find our way, wearing our masks and trying to protect our communities. So we really hope that these shows inspire you to live your best life and continue with your healthy habits. And a big thank you to the Green Beaver Company for supporting our movement and this show. So all our listeners today are going to get 25% off to shop online at thegreenbeaver.com. And you can find all that info in the show notes. And I'll show you two of my favorite products. I mean, our house is full of good stuff. But these are fragrance-free baby wash and baby lotion. So they're called baby, but our whole family actually uses them. And I brought this fragrance-free one specifically today because today we're going to be talking all about essential oils. And oils are a great thing to add depending on what you're feeling and what you need to a fragrance-free lotion. So I wanted to show you that. And today I'm thrilled to be sitting down with Amanda DeGrace. So Amanda DeGrace, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having it. It's so nice to see you. It's been over, I think, a year since I've seen you in person. I think the last time you were teaching yoga classes at a local mall, and we were doing some great activities for the families and children. So we've all had to pivot online. So it's nice to see your smiling face.
Thank you.
From your home. So how are you doing? You know, we're winding down summer. So how's that feeling for you and your family?
You know, I felt like summer just kind of whizzed by. I can't believe it's the end of July already. Normally, summers for us are filled with travel and fun and lots of really big get-togethers. I have three kids. They're 5, 8, and 10. They, of course, have been home with us 24/7 since mid-March. And, you know, it's been a different feeling. We've been trying to make it feel like we're having a summer of fun and making it as normal as possible for the kids. But the reality is it's kind of been the status quo for us since March. And, you know, just a few more weeks left of summer. So it's feeling a little different this year.
Absolutely. No, I feel you. But if there's anyone who could keep things fun, it's you. And I'm sure many of you recognize Amanda's face. She is the owner and founder of Little Lotus Yoga, a company specializing in family wellness. Amanda's a mom of 3, as she mentioned, and loves a good, strong coffee. Yes, mama. When not on the yoga mat or driving her kids to activities, Amanda can often be found on local morning shows sharing about family travel, wellness, and lifestyle features. And you know, when I was coming together for story ideas for MoveCo Live, you definitely came to mind, Amanda, because, you know, as a parent, you know, we're all thinking about it. It's back to school, back to daycare, back to business very, very soon. And today the show is all about supporting your kids with essential oils. So let's just jump right in here. Like you wear many hats. I think of you, like when I have a question about parenting or something, I actually typically message you. Like I'm grateful that you're on my speed dial. But tell me, like, why did you decide to be an essential oils educator and add that to your armor of parenthood?
So for me as a parent, it's about finding as many different options that are out there and available in the world that we can pull from to add to what I like to call our wellness toolkit or toolbox. Because I'm a strong believer there's no one size fits all. There's not one thing that is going to allow me to keep my kids in, like, I say bubble, not like a COVID bubble, but you know, a bubble of safety when I let them go out into the world. And so when I armor myself with all of these different tools that we can pull from, essential oils being one of them, it builds my confidence as a parent. And it's so empowering to see my kids who, you know, they're a little bit older now. They're now understanding when they try something new, does it work? How does my body feel? And it's so empowering when they use essential oils to watch things shift for them, whether it's, you know, an emotional perspective they're using it for, mental health, physical support, to be able to see my 10-year-old, you know, he came home from baseball last night and he said, I have a sore ankle. And so he went and got the Deep Blue, rubbed it on, and he's really taking care of his health. And I think as a parent, when we create opportunities for our children to do that and take control of their own health, it's super, super special.
I love that. So yeah, so you have kids in your household who, that's so great. Like, so you basically said, like, you've created the space in your home and you've educated them so they know, like, okay, I'm coming home from baseball, I have the soreness, I can go to this, or, oh, I've got a mosquito bite, like, let me help with that. So let's dive into maybe like an example, like for my world. So first time mom with a toddler, and he's been with me every day since birth, and he's about to enter into daycare. And you hear all these horror stories, and I'm actually really looking forward to him to being out with a lot, kids, and getting the germs. And I mean, he already goes and plays out in the dirt and goes to the beach, and like,
Yeah.
so it's not like he's hidden away, but I'm mindful that he's going to be around potentially 15 kids for many hours in a day. And like, is there something that as a mom and as a family we can do right now, like to start preparing to with essential oils?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we take COVID aside, like that's a whole other, snowball that we're dealing with right now in the world. But just sending our little ones to daycare or school for the first time, we hear all the time of like, oh, my kid is always sick and they're always home. And then I'm taking time off work and I'm just getting back to work. And now I'm taking all this time off. How do I balance it all? And so it's really, really normal to see that happening. So I want parents to know, don't feel like you're alone. If you send your kid to daycare and they have the runny nose, then they have the fever, then they have pink eye, then, all of the things. I always tell parents that, it's kind of par for the course and they're building their immunity up. But I think when we can help support our kids and pull from that wellness toolbox to help them build their immunity up, aside from, everything they're licking and touching and bringing into their bodies, it's going to help them be a little bit healthier and a little bit stronger. So when it comes to boosting our immunity, I'm a strong believer, essential oils are just a piece of the puzzle. So I never want people to think that it's like oils are one size fits all and they're going to cure the world and everything. Think of it as being able to open your medicine cabinet and pull from different things that are going to help support you. So when we look at using essential oils, I want people to also look at, are you and your family getting enough fresh air and getting out and sunlight? And how are you eating? And how are you sleeping? And I know with little ones at home, people are like, sleeping? I'm not sleeping, but that can also, be a piece of the puzzle when it comes to our immunity. So when we look at essential oils, there's a lot of great ways we can help support our immune system. For little ones, we want to think about what can we start to implement in their day so they get used to it and they get used to the routine of it as well. I love an oil called On Guard. I have it here in a roller bottle format. So this is an essential oil blend. It smells like Christmas. I absolutely love the aroma of it. And my kids' teachers always comment about how they walk by my kids' desks because they always smell so good because they're all oiled up.
Nice.
Immunity, On Guard, if you look up on PubMed, which is a great scientific research site, if you look up on PubMed On Guard, you're going to get tons of different research studies that show how beneficial On Guard is at boosting our immunity and warding off common, what we like to call seasonal threats. So those coughs, colds, runny noses, all of those things that, I mean, for anyone with kids, it's kind of like September to June. That's what we're dealing with on and off. And so On Guard is really fantastic at supporting our systems. Now, you can also get it in a bottle format. So something like this is really fantastic because you can put it right into your diffuser. So it's great to have that oil going in your diffuser so you and your family are breathing in all of the great benefits of the essential oil blend, but also applying it to our body topically helps it get into our body and helps support us immune-wise that way. So when it comes to little kids, when using something like On Guard, a little swipe on the bottom of their feet and up and down their spine in the morning while they're getting dressed, and then again at night before bed is a really great way to help support their immunity system.
That's wonderful. And at what age can you start doing something like that?
So On Guard is fantastic. I would say over 1 or so. With little babies, I would use some other immune boosting oils, but a little bit more gentler aroma. So an example of that is rose. I mean, a lot of people love the aroma of rose.
Yes.
People often wear this as like an all-natural perfume, but what they don't know is rose is also great for boosting our immunity. So that's another option. Another option for little ones, and you can use this on bigger ones too, is frankincense. So frankincense is actually known as the king of oils, and rose is known as the queen of oils, because these are two powerhouses that help with a variety of different things that might come up in our life. And one of those being helping to boost our immune system. So for little tiny babies, I would use something like rose or frankincense. Again, just a little bit on the bottom of the feet, up the spine. And when we start to do it with our children from a young age, it becomes part of their routine. Like at night, they have a bath, they read books, they put on their oils, and they get ready for bed.
I love that. And really, what I loved about what you just said is like, when you think of time as a factor in your life, like putting a swipe at the bottom of your feet and the back of your spine, and like, and I'd like, you all do it as a family. It's kind of fun. It smells
Yeah.
good. And then to think that this is helping boost your immunity. But I love what you said, because this shows all about the whole mind, body, spirit. Like, we can't expect that, if you're not sleeping, if you're eating junk food every day, you're not like moving your body, like, an essential oil is not going to like be this cure-all for everything. But when you told me this, like, it's like my posture, the air, like, it's just like, I feel like there's hope, like this additional kind of arsenal, because we are doing all of those other things. And I am just, learning essential oils now for the first time. So thank you for making that so simple. So from your experience, because you have children and you've gone through this, and I'm a newbie, like, what seasonal threats do you see throughout the school year from September to June? Maybe
Yeah.
you might try something different. Like, give us an example of things that parents could maybe, be proactive to be thinking about.
So I find it always starts with a little bit of sniffles, and then they start to get a cough. And it's quite common for a lot of kids to have a cough through most of the year. I know I remember when my kids were little, I'd go to a play group and they would cough, and I'm like, they're not sick. They just have this cough that's with them from like September to June. And that's the way it is. And all the other parents, and it's usually moms, were like, that's okay, we get it. My kid too, right? So it's a very common thing. Something like easy air or eucalyptus or cardamom is really fantastic at opening up the airways for our little ones. So that's really great at opening up their airways, helping them to relieve any coughs, colds, things they have going on in their chest area. With little kids, the rule of thumb with essential oils is we apply the oil wherever the issue is on our body. But with little kids, I like to, instead of putting it on their chest and the front of their lungs, swipe the oil onto their back, on the back of their lungs. So they're still going to get the same benefits. There's no worry though of them putting their hands all over their body and then into their mouth. It's not necessarily going to harm them, but they're not going to like the taste of it if they do get it in their mouth. And we know with kids, once they get it in their mind of, I don't like this, you don't want to be chasing them around the house trying to put an oil on them. You want them to make sure that they really love and are able to feel the support that the oils are bringing to their body. So little ones, coughs and colds, apply those oils onto their back. Tummy issues are also something that comes up a lot, whether it be digestion, nausea, constipation, diarrhea. Sometimes that is like germ stuff. Sometimes it's different foods that they might be eating at daycare that they're not adjusted to or used to having as part of their routine. Sometimes it's just that feeling of nervousness of trying something different and a little bit of anxiety. So when it comes to tummy issues, we love an oil called Digest Zen. In there is fennel. That's part of one of the oils. It's part of the blend. You can also use fennel on its own. You could use something like peppermint and just apply that around the belly area. And that's going to help with any sort of digestion issues that the kids are having. My 5-year-old is always having belly issues. And this morning she went to her grandparents for the day and she said, I need my orange roller bottle because that's the one that has her digestion blend in it. And she knows, like, I'm not feeling great. I'm just going to apply it around my belly and it's going to help support me. So that's another great one from a digestion point of view that's going to help the kids Something else that's really, really common as kids start daycare and back to school is pink eye. And often, there's no kind of early signs of it. All of a sudden your kid wakes up one morning and you're like, why is their eye all crusty? What is going on? Or even worse, they pass it to you as the parent and you're like, are you kidding? Everything's either going into the office or everything's virtual on Zoom and I have to look at people and they're gonna see my eye. And so when it comes to pink eye, great oils for that: rose,
Okay.
frankincense, tea tree is also really great too. And any sort of issues when it comes to eyes and ears, we never put the oils into the eyes or into the ears, just rub it around. So with a little one, rose is so gentle. I would just take that and roll that around their eye. An adult, I would incorporate some tea tree too, a little bit more powerful to use with the rose and or frankincense. But pink eye is really, really common. It's really easy to spread through your house before you even know. So if you're using essential oils for something like pink eye or any other type of infection, highly suggest put some of the oil on a cotton pad, use the cotton pad, and then throw it out. You don't want to be contaminating what you're using and then keep applying it and recontaminate that area. And then I think the last thing that we see often is earaches. And it's really hard as a parent, especially with young kids, of, is it teething? Is it an earache? Is it teething? Is it an earache? And so when it's an earache, we're seeing it a lot right now too with swimmer's ear. People are getting out. They want it to be active. Kids are then complaining of earaches. Basil, tea tree, and lavender are fantastic for supporting earaches. So again, just applying it around the ear, not pouring it in, but just around every couple hours is going to help support those little sore ears for our little ones as well.
I love it. You know what? I'm going to write this all out in the show notes because as a parent, I think you address things that are children, but also adults too. Like these are actually common things for all humans that we go through. I'm like, oh, check, minus the pink eye. I don't like I've had one in a long time, but everything else that you've mentioned, I definitely use some roll-on. So like, thank you. Like you really make it so simple. And I think that that's a comment. I'm sure there's a lot of listeners today that are listening and being like, okay, I get it. Like I can do this, like frankincense, rose, on guard. Like you keep on kind of bringing up a few over and over again for someone who's just starting. Those are some great ideas.
Because it can feel so overwhelming, right? You hear people talking about essential oils, and I'm guilty of it. People come over to my house and I've been loving on oils for years and years. So we have like racks and racks of essential oils, but you don't need every oil out there. There's a handful of oils that are going to help support you for a variety of different things. And I think it's important that people understand oils aren't a one size fits all. So very similar to medication, let's say you've got an antibiotic for something, you go home and you're like, oh, that's not helping. You go back to the doctor, they write you a prescription for something different. So essential oils work similarly in that, what works for me may not be the perfect fit for you. So sometimes there's different oils you can try to help find that best support. When you find what works best for you and your family, as a mom, I always suggest you can get empty roller bottles. You can buy them on Amazon. Yes. Local health food stores are carrying them. I like to make up my blends. So like I have a roller bottle just for sore ears, because when my kid wakes up at 2:00 in the morning, I don't want to be like, where's all the oils and what do I need to mix? It's like, here's the bottle, it's labeled, rub it around your ear, back to bed you go, I'll see you in the morning. And so being able to keep it simple, when we don't keep it simple and it becomes overwhelming, like we're busy moms. We don't need another thing in our life that is overwhelming and feels like it's this daunting task to do. Keep it simple, keep it easy, and you're gonna see some great outcomes for you and your family.
I love that. And I love that you said, you talk about like prescription or medicine. I actually call it like the wellness cabinet at home. And as a busy mom, sometimes I forget what I actually have in my house. So this is another reminder. You actually probably have picked up these things before. And like, I know the other day I was feeling very crampy. It was a hormonal thing. And so I don't know about you, but I go on Pinterest for fun. Like it relaxes me to read articles. So I'll just go on and look up like toddler games, or the other night it was essential oils because I recently bought a whole bunch, and and I'm like, oh, hormones, like I'm feeling crampy, like, and it's like, rub peppermint and lavender with some carrier oil. And I went to the bathroom and I did that and I rubbed it on my belly, and I did feel a lot better. And it just reminded me, I'm like, okay, Samantha, like take the pause. Like you actually have more than you actually like remember. Sometimes we don't remember, and these mindful minutes really, really help. So listeners today, I know we're all going to leave today with just that one thing that you need, that even if you just started implementing that one thing, it is going to really help our wellness. Because the reality is, everything you just described, they're not things that happen just like one-offs. They're actually kind of very common. So thanks again, Amanda. So I'm going to talk about something that I hope is not common, but it as I made my list of things for daycare and back to school, is lice. So
I mean, touch wood.
I've heard this thing, and I mean, of course, I went through it as a child, and I had long hair, and I heard that maybe essential oils can help with something like that. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Tea tree, there's a ton of research, and I love the science. So when I bring something into our home from a wellness and health perspective, yes, I'm the yoga teacher and I love the woo and the energy and the good vibes. I also want the science. I also want the hardcore data that what we're doing has been proven, this is going to work for XYZ. There's a ton of research that shows that tea tree essential oil is fantastic at warding off lice. Now, it's important for parents to know, if you get lice, it's really common. So don't feel embarrassed. So many of us are like, I don't want to tell people. Oh my gosh, what if they find out? Everyone's been through it. Be the mom who speaks up and says, yes, we've had lice, because so many other moms are going to breathe a sigh of relief that they're not.
Have you dealt with this in your family?
So thankfully with my kids, not yet, knock on wood, but I spray their hair every single day with water, tea tree, and then I put a little bit of lavender in there as well to make it a little bit more nicer smelling, because tea tree has a very like it's antiseptic and antibacterial. To me, it kind of smells like a hospital that's just been cleaned. Like it has this aroma to it. So what you want to do is spray your kid's hair. Make sure you're getting all along the neckline, around the ears as well. So before they head off to school in the morning, I spray them down with that. When they get home at night, I spray their backpacks, and when it's wintertime, I spray the backs of their coats and any hats and scarves and things. And the reason being is because at school or daycare, all of their stuff is hanging up side by side. And so if someone else has been in contact with head lice and their jacket is beside my kid's jacket, there's a possibility that it's going to transfer that way. So I also like to spray stuff, and I do it just super quickly. The bottle sits in our bathroom, right close to when you walk in the front door. And so it's just like a spray, 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 and everyone's done.
Wow. That feels good. Okay. Yeah. Like that's a must for me. Like, and it's nice that your kids haven't gotten it yet. We can't say that that's like the absolute reason why, but like, I think prevention.
Oh, and they might, and that's, I knock on wood and I just keep spraying and
spraying, girl. Like, why not? It's helped so far. And yeah, it just sounds icky. Like I know, and it sounds like something that everyone's gone through, and it's a pest to kind of get rid of. So why not take this extra step? Kind of like with everything you said, like it's all about prevention. And you've made it now, like you make the spray sound fun. Like I think if we make it part of our children's routine and our parents' routine, it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, Amanda, like that was so good. Like I'll be honest, like before the show goes live, I'm gonna write out some great show notes with some tips, because I really think you really brought it to life, that essential oils can be like easy and fun. And let's just leave with this simple question too. Like, have you, with the COVID and hand washing, I mean, our family, we've always loved hand washing. Like I sing happy birthday to my son and we do it. And not everyone, it's commonplace too, is what we've realized. So what are we doing? Like, what are some tips to get people to hand wash? Parents, adults, kids? How do we do this? Because it's very important.
I mean, I think, I think if you're a little guy too, of that learning to those hand washing skills at this age, like it's going to be a totally different world in 30 years for him when everyone knows how to actually properly wash their hands. For my kids at 5, 8, and 10, we have been talking a lot about the whys. So older kids want to understand, like, why am I doing something? And when they can understand that why, just like us as adults, they have a little bit more of a buy-in to it.
Yeah.
So, young ones, like your little one, it's amazing to make it fun and you do it together and it's like a little game or activity. I think it's really important that we are teaching our kids these skills at home where they feel safe and loved and protected before they go out into the world, into daycare or into schools or whatever it might be. Because when your little guy goes to daycare and it's time to wash their hands, he's going to be like, I've got this. I'm going to show all my friends how to properly wash my hands and like actually get in between my fingers. Like, it's amazing. I had a talk with my 5-year-old the other day because she's in a habit of like soap on her hands first and then she turns the water on. And I'm like, wet your hands a little bit first. So when you put the soap on, it can like actually lather. And she was like, oh, like she didn't understand the why to get it wet first. So, I mean, incorporating that as much as we can within our home is going to help to get the kids in a routine. My kids are now in a routine and they've been like this for years, even pre-COVID. When you come home from school or daycare, you wash your hands. You put your bag down, we say our highs and you go to the bathroom, you wash your hands, and then we have our cuddle and our family time together. And it's just a routine for them. They know, it's part of what they do. They don't question it. They don't even really have to think about it. It's kind of like we get up in the morning. What do most of us do? We go pee. And so we have to create those routines for our hand washing as well with our little ones.
I love it. I mean, you're preaching to that's exactly what we do in our households. And, it is a learned behavior. So I think, it's a reminder for us all to just keep doing this. And if it's not something you've done before, like, this just has tremendous benefits to just, like get hand washing, and just take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of each other. So Amanda, like your arsenal of information today, you just helped so many people. You have no idea. And as a new mom, like you just make me feel so much more confident about how I can use essential oils in a lifestyle that I already practice, which is all about like preventative health and just taking care of yourself every day. So you've definitely added new things to my everyday life that I can implement that are easy and fun. And I can't wait to share it with my husband and my son and my stepsons. Like, I just think that this is just such a fun topic and a great thing for the whole family to get involved in. So thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you.
Awesome. So if you want to continue the conversation with Amanda DeGrace, you can find her on social media. Her website is littlelotusyoga.ca. On Instagram, it's at Little Lotus Yoga, and Facebook, LL Yoga. So she's very much online. She's there to answer any of your questions. So if there's something you heard today that you want to hear some more, please reach out to Amanda. It'll all be in the show notes. A big thank you to the Green Beaver Company for helping us with MoveCo Live, and we will see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye, Amanda.
Bye.